Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Desk with Ryan Potts and Jack Mitchell. I'm Ryan Potts, otherwise known as Splash. You can find me on social media at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm on the U Stadium app as Splash. You can find Jack on U Stadium as Jack Mitchell and on Instagram as Jack_Mitchell_01. How's it going, Jack?
I would be coordinating with you in the basketball attire, but the Lakers blew it last time.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to go with the Kings. 3-game win streak. Let's go.
That's solid. I think the Cavs have lost like 12 out of 13 or something stupid because they beat the Nets twice, right? And Sexton had 40. And that was really cool. They were 9-9 at one point. Now they're like 10-22 ish. So that's a bummer.
Nah.
Yeah. You know what else is a bummer? Carson Wentz got traded this weekend. Or I guess this week. It's not the weekend.
I guess that's a bummer for the Eagles. Or I guess both teams, really, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah. They didn't get a first-round pick, kind of. It's not compensatory, a conditional first. So it's a 2 that could turn into a 1, probably turns into a 1, although Wentz does have a pretty colored injury history. So do you think the Eagles got fleeced? Do you think the Colts got fleeced? Do you think it's a fair trade?
I'm going to say the Eagles win this if Jalen Hurts ends up being the guy.
That's fair.
Because, again, we don't know. We have yet to see him play a full season. He had a good sample size, I would say, for his first year. Even though he wasn't the full-time starter, I would say he put Philly in a lot more chances to win when he played.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it really just depends on what happens with that situation. If Hurts ends up being the guy, Eagles win this.
I think that's fair. Hurts had a little up and down sequence. He added a new dimension running the ball. He had 100 rushing yards against the Saints. He and Sanders were two of the only 100-yard rushers the Saints have allowed in like 5 years now. But Hurts does add something to the running game, and he does make some great throws with his arm. Yeah, I don't know what else he would throw with, but he makes some great throws.
Throws with his foot.
Yes.
He kicks the ball, and they catch it, and it counts.
Actually, I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast a couple weeks ago, and it was about Penny Hardaway's draft day, his draft interview. And one of the Orlando folk said it was the most impressive basketball tryout he's ever seen for anyone. And Bill was like, what could he possibly have done? Was he hitting 3-pointers with his feet? And I'm like, what? Well, I mean, hey, if you're doing that, but he couldn't do it in the game, so I don't know. But I really like Jalen. I thought I was one of the few people that didn't just kill the draft pick when Philly took him in the second round last year. But, I think moving forward, Jalen can be a solid starting quarterback in the NFL.
I think a lot of people killed Philly for that one because I think nobody really expected Carson Wentz to have as big of a slide as he did.
Yeah, it was bad this year. So yeah. I'll just pull up his stats real quick. He led the NFL in interceptions despite not starting the last quarter of the season. Let that sink in. 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's quite poor. A 57.4% completion percentage. I'm usually not big on completion percentage. It just happens. But 57 is a catastrophe.
That's a disaster.
NFL. Yeah. And he was only averaging 6 yards per attempt. It was ugly. He had a passer rating below 73. That's like Sam Darnold territory. A lot of Jets fans in the chat, Wentz was right there with Darnold, and they need a sub 50 QBR. So it was really quite a catastrophe for Darnold, or for both Darnold and Wentz this year, but mainly for Wentz.
Yeah.
I saw a stat earlier today. Go ahead, Jack.
We've seen the upside to Wentz, though. That's the thing, is that the upside is definitely there. It's just that he took a huge dip. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. So if he can get back to where he needs to be in Indianapolis, they have a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna head to Tixa. I'm gonna just call it Tixa. I think the Colts won the trade. To be honest, didn't really give up that much and got the last piece they needed to be a Super Bowl contender. Absolutely. If Wentz is even 2019 Wentz, you get a star quarterback, a top 10 guy, he's going to be better than Rivers. And the pieces you have there, you have a great offensive line. Q, and you got Ryan Kelly, Lakers legend Ryan Kelly. And you have a tremendous defense: DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, and Julian Blackman. And if they re-sign Rhodes, I don't know if they do re-sign Rhodes, but if they do re-sign Rhodes, that'll be a really nice defense still. Got weapons: Mo Alley Cox, Jack Doyle, Michael Pittman, and of course Jonathan Taylor ran for, it was third in the league in rushing last year with about 1,200 yards. So
they're keeping T.Y. Hilton, right?
I don't know. I think he is a free agent. I'm not sure if he returns though. I would try to keep him.
Yeah.
Keep as many weapons as possible.
But I mean, either way, they look set.
And if so, last year, 2020, Carson Wentz, 5.3% of his passes should have been intercepted. It should have been intercepted. Now, should have been intercepted. That's a little subjective. That's fine. There are only 3 quarterbacks with a worse rate: Nick Mullins, Sam Darnold, and Tua. So if Wentz cleans up the turnovers, I think he can be really quite good in Indianapolis.
We'll see. This is what I've been saying about Jared Goff for a while, and
that's fair.
We'll see.
But when Wentz is on, he's on. In 2017, he had 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Would have probably won the MVP if he doesn't get hurt against the Rams. Led the NFL with a 78.5 QBR, had a 102 passer rating. Then came back the next year, had another 102 passer rating, 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, completed about 70% of his passes, was pushing the ball down the field more. The Eagles weren't quite as good in 2018. They had a losing record under Wentz before coming alive late in the season under Foles. But a lot of the Wentz track record has been good. Even his rookie season that he had only 16 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, there were still good parts to that season, and they would have gone 8-8 if they have a 2-point conversion against Baltimore that goes right. It's not a catastrophe, but this year was very, very bad.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, and also Paris Campbell, shout out to Sand Eater in the chat. I like Paris Campbell a lot. I thought he was a stud coming out of OSU. He's been injured off and on, but hey, moving forward, it doesn't matter if he's injured, or it doesn't matter that he has an injury history if he's healthy. That's the same sort of thing with Wentz right now.
Absolutely.
So speaking
really
of injury
important.
History, where do you think J.J. Watt ends up?
Yeah, this is another guy that has a really he had a huge upside. Obviously, J.J. Watt, insane player. Houston Texans are releasing him. Go ahead.
He might be the best. He might be the best released player, cap casualty cut ever.
Yeah.
He was a deserving Pro Bowler in 2020, and it's a little goofy to me. I understand, financially you needed to do it, but at the same time, Watt's still a dominant force on the interior.
Could he just be trying to get out of the bad situation that's going on in Houston right now? Because obviously we know Deshaun Watson, he wants out. And he said that apparently that wasn't a coaching thing. That was an ownership thing. Right. I think he was also a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald, right?
Yeah, I know Aaron Donald was one of them, obviously. I don't remember. I think it was Lawrence Taylor. Okay. You know what I think I would like to see, though, in terms of where he goes is I kind of want to see him go to Pittsburgh and start playing with his brothers there. Okay.
I'm gonna diffuse that. I know I'm a Ravens fan, but I don't think it really makes sense for Pittsburgh to do that, because you look at how the line's currently constructed. You have TJ Watt, who is the best edge in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. You have Cam Hayward, who granted is on the older side of things. He's still younger than Watt, right? You have Stephon Tuitt, who is younger than Watt still. And Tuitt and Hayward, I have a hard time leaving them out of my top 5. Even if I went full biased Ravens fan, they're minimum top 10 defensive linemen in the NFL. And it's kind of scary to think that J.J. Watt isn't really needed. Pittsburgh has other places that if I'm Kevin Colbert, the Steelers GM, I'm going running back, offensive line, linebacker. I'm in an AFC North group chat, and they're like, yeah, Watt's cool, but he doesn't really make the team better.
It still really weirds me out that they just straight up released him. Like, you would think if Pittsburgh wanted him, you would think Houston would try to get a piece back.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre. Like,
but you're just going to release one of the best players historically in the league.
Yeah, the best
and not get anything in return. It's just such a weird decision to me.
Yeah, it's just like, I understand you want to be nice to Watt, you want to respect JJ because he raised $37 million the one year when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, and he's an unbelievable guy, and he's the number one player in the history of the Houston Texans, probably the number one player in the history of Houston football. Go back to the Oilers. And it's just weird. They didn't trade him. They didn't get any assets for him. It's like you didn't pry a second-round pick from Pittsburgh or Baltimore, Cleveland, or Green Bay. You didn't get anything back from him. You just said, oh, hey, we're going to release you. And I thought it was bizarre to release him. And, he's a guy that this year, like PFF, for what PFF's worth, he had an 85 defensive grade, his fourth year in a row with above an 85, and he has 8 out of 9 years above 85. So you're talking an elite player.
Yeah.
Against the run, as a pass rusher.
This guy does everything.
Yeah, he is a special talent. And even now, you can put him on the interior, just let him work. He's probably a top 10 interior guy right now. And look, as much as Pittsburgh might be cool to have him in Pittsburgh with Derek and TJ, Pittsburgh has 2 of the top 10 interior defensive linemen in the NFL. Like they have their own Chris Jones, DeForest Buckner, 90% of Aaron Donald. Like they have that in Cam Hayward, and they have that in Stephon Tuitt. I don't think JJ Watt's moving the needle too much there.
Okay. It feels like another wait and see kind of situation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Green Bay is an interesting option. I mean, they have Kenny Clark, who's getting up there in age, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary broke out at the end of the year. He had a big game against the Rams, right?
I think so.
And I think Green Bay is an interesting one. Of course, Watt went to college in Wisconsin, or at Wisconsin. Also, Cleveland's gotten some buzz, and that could be nice with Garrett also. And then Watt could play some edge and some interior line. I think he'd be better at this point in his career. I think he'd be a little bit better on the interior, and then you get some interior pressure on the likes of Lamar and Ben and Burrow. And I think Cleveland would be a great fit. Green Bay would also be a great fit. Pittsburgh, I get why people want him to go to Pittsburgh, but I don't really see it, because then at a certain point,
I will admit it's kind of more just a headline thing. Like he plays with his brothers.
Right.
And I mean, he certainly wouldn't hurt Pittsburgh. It's just like the talent that they already have is good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with Robinson, not Robinson, but Tuitt, with Hayward, you have 2 star guys right there. And then, of course, TJ Watt. So at a certain point, you'd be paying $11 million, $15 million, $20 million for JJ Watt to be your 4th best pass rusher. Like, yeah, he's good against the run, but so is Cam Hayward, so is Stephon Tuitt, so is TJ Watt. Like, that's what makes them special, is that they're so versatile, that they're like the best pass rushers in the NFL, but at the same time, they're really good at stopping the run. And
yeah,
you take the Cleveland games, you take the Baltimore games, and they're one of the only teams that can slow down the passing game and the rushing game for 2 of the best rushing teams in the NFL, and a pretty good passing offense in Cleveland, and a hit or miss passing offense for Baltimore. But hey, they're incredibly versatile group, and I think it'd just be a waste of money if Pittsburgh goes after him.
There's been some talk of the Rams, and I could see it, but because they are putting Rob Havenstein up for trade, so that could free up some cap space. But I don't. I'm just not. That's not really that likely. I don't think, in my opinion. I feel like I don't know. It seems like one of those situations where like they were talking about maybe Deshaun Watson goes to LA or something like that, and I'm just like, nah, I don't know why. It's just I don't really have a specific reason for it. I don't see it
Right.
happening. But like Les Snead is a really bold GM, so
Hmm.
he might try. He doesn't have to trade anybody for him, so if they have enough cap space to make it work, they probably could.
So,
But it's just that they also have to pay for guys like John Johnson
mhm,
and maybe Leonard Floyd to come back. I guess he might not need to if JJ comes in.
right. Oh yeah, that I think you'd be happy with JJ for a year over Leonard Floyd getting paid
Absolutely.
long term.
Like Leonard Floyd played great, don't get me wrong, but if JJ Watt is the alternative, then I'm fine.
Yeah. So you mentioned Havenstein's up for a trade. My brain's working. So you said Whitworth is 39, right? 38, 39.
Something like that.
Okay. I don't think this trade would work because the Rams don't have a first round pick or many early picks.
Probably never
But
will have a first round
okay.
pick ever again, and that's fine with me.
How do you feel about Orlando Brown for Havenstein and some draft capital?
Interesting. The draft capital I like because they need it.
Oh no, like Havenstein and draft
Oh,
capital
Havenstein and the draft capital. Oh, okay.
for I don't know. I guess Orlando could play like right tackle in 2021 and then move over to left when Whitworth retires. Maybe that works.
He probably could.
Hmm. That's interesting to me.
It's just a thought. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I'm just spitballing things
Yeah.
here. Like just trying to improve Baltimore. Maybe not improve Baltimore because I think they get fundamentally worse in that trade. But hey, maybe Orlando Brown ends up in the other side of LA and ends up with the Chargers, and Baltimore gets the number 13 pick or something like that. That'd be cool.
Frankie's saying the Rams are screwed. How so? In cap, they're a win now team. Like if they're screwed if they don't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. If they can't win in Matt Stafford's prime or before his contract runs out, if they can't win with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey in their primes, then they're screwed. Then they're in trouble. This is a win now team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if the Rams, I actually appreciate what the Rams did going all in. They want to win a Super Bowl this year. They want to win a Super Bowl in 2022. And hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's something that as a Rams fan, I'm sure you're over the moon that your team is actively trying to go win a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
You came up just short in 2018 and you want to win a Super Bowl.
Let me put it this way: the year before Sean McVay, it was Jeff Fisher, and this team was either constantly going 7-9 or 4-12. 4-12 was the last record, and then Sean McVay comes in, and suddenly they're 11-5, and now they're actively trying to win Super Bowls.
Yeah, and there's a big difference.
It's such a huge turnaround, so of course I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's like the people tell me about Baltimore how Lamar Jackson's going to be out of the league in 5 years. I don't really care because Baltimore is really good right now. It'd be different if Baltimore's like 5-11 and you're like, oh well, Lamar's not going to be that good. Okay, that's fine. Then we can move away from Lamar. But the last time I checked, the Ravens have won 25-7 in their last 2 seasons. They're winning games with Lamar Jackson, and cap this, cap that, go win the darn Super Bowl. Like, I don't think anyone in Kansas City cares that Mahomes is making half $1 billion.
If you win a Super Bowl, I don't even care. Like, about all the cap stuff, about all the future problems that are going to happen with the team. If you win a Super Bowl, it's worth it.
Yeah. And the good teams, like, take a look at New Orleans. I don't have any fear that they're going to screw up their cap situation. They're $100 million in the hole. But I have the confidence that says, hey, they're still going to be competitive, moving forward. They're going to be fine. They're gonna have maybe a transition to Jameis, or they get Mac Jones, or they get any number of guys, or Taysom Hill. Shout out to Frankie. They're gonna figure out something. That's what the good organizations do. That's what Pittsburgh does. That's what New England does. They're gonna retool. That's what Baltimore does. That's what Green Bay does.
Absolutely.
Chicago even, like they just retool and they figure out like we're gonna do this. You make sacrifices every year. Like, look at New England in their last 3 Super Bowls. They said, oh, we need a top-tier corner. Okay, Stephon Gilmore, welcome. Oh, we want to make Brady happy. Okay, hi, Antonio Brown. How's it going? they made moves specifically to say, we're going to go win the Super Bowl. We're going to try to win the Super Bowl 5 times in a row. They've only won 3, but hey, how many teams even have 3 Super Bowls to begin with, let alone 3 in 5 years?
And have like that many Super Bowl appearances in a row too.
Yeah. It's like, how often do you see a team go to 3 straight Super Bowls? Not very often.
The hangover narrative just doesn't exist with that team.
Yeah.
Or at least it didn't with Brady.
I mean, their version of the hangover was losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl or losing in the AFC title game to Denver. And like the Rams missed the playoffs, 49ers missed the playoffs, the Ravens missed the playoffs, the Steelers lost to Tim Tebow after they lost in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's just an ebb and flow. And the good organizations will take those shots to win the Super Bowl or win the NBA Finals or win the World Series. You're a Dodgers fan, and the Dodgers won the World Series. They want to win another one. So that's why they're trying to buy wins. That's why you go get Bauer. That's why you trade
money,
for Beck.
basically.
That's why you have such a great farm system, because even if you screw up on Bauer, let's say Bauer becomes
I would say it's a low risk deal. Because like if Bauer,
years, right?
I think it was like a 2-year or something. I don't remember 100%. But like even if he turns out to be a disaster, who cares?
Yeah,
there's such a well-run organization. The farm system is so deep.
Like I saw a post today, and Dustin May is your number 7 starter. Like that's unheard of. Like, you have 7 guys that would probably be top 3 guys on every other rotation in baseball. Even the Mets. The Mets have a great rotation. I might take Dustin May over most of them. DeGrom obviously, but Dustin
DeGrom
May,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, if you're making a Mets and Dodgers rotation, I mean, DeGrom is probably 1, but you're talking 2 through 5 might be the Dodgers, and that's how dominant the Dodgers rotation I think can be. Even San Diego, you like maybe Darvish 1 or maybe Snell 1, but the depth is all Dodgers, and that's crazy that the Dodgers have like spot starters that could be aces on other teams.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I think Atlanta has a pretty good rotation. Charlie Morton, Soroka comes back. Fried was top 5-ish in Cy Young voting last year. Ian Anderson was great in the playoffs. But even the Dodgers have a deeper rotation and have a better rotation. And I love how he just totally transitioned to baseball.
Yeah, we'll talk more baseball soon. I mean, pitchers and catchers reported yesterday, so.
Yeah, because we don't really talk much about baseball, of course. But we
will when the season starts.
Yeah, absolutely. My Bravos should hopefully defend the Mets and win their 4th straight NL East title. Hope so. You know what I hope? I hope the Ravens go after Mr. Allen Robinson.
Ah, yes, Allen Robinson. Does he stay or does he go?
I need to see. This is one problem that I have with the NFL is that free agency comes before the draft. So, sometimes it's nice to have free agency before the draft. Sometimes it's nice to have the draft before free agency. This is one that I would love to see if Chicago goes after a quarterback in the draft. So, like, if you pick, say, Mac Jones at 19, you really want to re-sign out or franchise tag Allen Robinson. Mm-hmm. But if you don't go Mac Jones and you want to go to a different direction, or maybe you want to rebuild and have a bad year soon, you don't re-sign Allen Robinson. And it's something that I think every team wants Allen Robinson. Like, even take Arizona. I don't think Allen Robinson's better than DeAndre Hopkins, but
they just lost Fitzgerald, so
that's true.
It would be a good fit. I would feel like I feel like this feels to me like it's a franchise tag and trade kind of thing. Like, they franchise tag him, and then if they don't need him, they'll trade him.
That's fair. That could happen. I think maybe Galladay does the same thing. If they want to go with Fields or Lance, or heaven forbid Zach Wilson falls down, maybe you say, Quintez Cephas is good. We can get another wide receiver in the draft. We'll tag Galladay and trade him to, say, Baltimore, or maybe not Cleveland, but Jacksonville. My buddy was saying, my buddy Jackson, shout out to Jackson. He was saying Jacksonville's going to might get Allen Robinson. And I think that could be cool. Lawrence.
That would be a cool fit.
And of course, he goes back to Jacksonville Jacksonville raid a huge, that I'm talking legendary season back in 2015 with Blake Bortles. Rams legend Blake Bortles, I might add.
The boat.
Yes, facts. So back in 2015, Robinson threw up 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. He hasn't quite matched that. The last 2 years, he's been over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns last year, 7 touchdowns in 2019. Robinson's fantastic, and I think he's a top 10-ish, top 10, top 12 receiver in the NFL, and I think he improves every team immediately. He's not there are guys that aren't great fits. Like there are offenses that Tyreek Hill wouldn't be Tyreek Hill in, or there's offenses that Diggs isn't Diggs in. Robinson is going to be Allen Robinson in every offense he plays, and he's such a versatile player. You can put him in the slot a little bit. You can play him as your prototypical X, and that's what I expect he's going to do a lot for whatever team he plays for. But hey, he's versatile. He does a ton of different things really, really well, and he's an impressive player to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a guy that played. Go ahead.
I think regardless of the QB situation, I really just feel like at the end of the day, like to answer the does he stay or does he go question, I feel like you've got to franchise tag him. At least try to keep him. If he doesn't, if things work out, then great. They work out. You have him for another year. You could work out a long-term deal. And if not, then you can trade him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he'd be great for any number of teams. Baltimore to go after, the Jets to go after, Jacksonville again. Any team can use him. And this season he had about 230 snaps in the slot and had about 700-ish snaps out wide. So he's versatile. He can do everything. He can be a big slot like what Michael Thomas or Larry Fitzgerald have done for the last few years, like Zach Ertz did in Philly, although he's a tight end.
Zach Ertz might be on the way out.
That's true. He could be a Ravens target as well.
I heard the Rams were talking to him.
That'd be interesting because I know Higbee and Everett are kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Well, Higbee's staying. Everett's going, I think, is what's happening. So
okay. So was it either last year or the year before that Higbee ended on some ridiculous run?
I think it was last year, or no, it was the year before. It was the year before.
Because he was in one of my trivia questions. He was like, who had the most catches in the last month of the season? And it's Tyler Higbee, of all people. It's like, Michael Thomas broke the receptions record. But Tyler Higbee is the correct answer here.
Jeez.
That's wild.
Big Rig Higgs. Alrighty. So now we're going to talk about some football that isn't NFL. So last week, there was a little league that got started up kind of quietly. Didn't get as much publicity as I think it should have until it actually got started. It's called fan-controlled football. And it's like an arena league, so it's 7v7. And this is a league where fans basically have control over everything. Like they designed and they came up with the names, they designed the logos, they got voted on. Same thing with the uniforms. Johnny Manziel is playing in it. And I honestly, the highlights from what we saw, I don't think it was bad football at all.
I think maybe good versus bad football is a little subjective at times.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought it was exciting, and sure, I only watched the highlights. That's fair. You can dock me for that. But I thought it was exciting. There's some really good athletes. Like people forget that Manziel might not be NFL quarterback, but he's still a good athlete.
He can still ball. Like I saw that first game that he played, he could ball still. Like he
can
great.
Still sling it. He can sling it. He can run around. Shout out to David Pindell, Connecticut legend David Pindell. Like he was making good plays, and it was really nice to see. It's just different. And I think people get lost in, it's not NFL football, it sucks, or it's not college football, it sucks. No.
Yeah, but that's not what they're trying to be.
Right, exactly.
Like they're just trying to be like a fun little league. Like literally the commentators booth during the whole games, it had like the co-owner of the league and the commissioner of the league were doing commentary. They were doing like color commentary during the game.
Well, that was exciting. I saw Richard Sherman giving interviews, and he's like, "My team sucks," and they like lost. It's like, where else do you get that? And it's
Marshawn Lynch almost
very
played.
cool.
He suited up, and there were talks that he might play. He didn't play, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, that would have been lit.
Yeah,
Oh,
it would have been I think it would have been the first ever case of the owner actually playing in a game.
okay. Frankie, you drug me through the mud yesterday. I'm going to drag you through the mud today. Look, it sucks compared to the NFL, sure.
Yeah.
But it's exciting football, and that's at a certain point what I want to see February 15th. Like I'm a little tired of the NFL, a little tired of talking about Mahomes, a little tired of talking about Brady, whatnot. But it was exciting, if it's like the Kings announcer says, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Well, if you don't like this, I don't think you can. I don't want to say you're not a football fan, but I think it's exciting.
It's fun football. It's video game football. Like, it's literally just meant to be something for fun. Like, yeah, people are going to try to win games, obviously, but like, still, it's something that fans can get in on. I've said it's an armchair quarterbacks league because, like, finally you can stop like staring at your screen and just yelling, "Oh, if only they did this! If only they called a run here!" Now you can actually influence that.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. The highlights are good. I'm down. It's when I was a kid, I loved watching the Arena Football League. Loved it. Like the Rattlesnakes, the Arizona team, and the New Orleans Voodoo. It was a lot of fun to watch.
I think that's another thing is the fact that the AFL is dead now. Like Arena football.
Yeah, I mean, I was like in love with it. I watched it sometimes even more than the NFL, and it's kind of crazy to me that people can I don't want to say disrespect football, but it's not for everyone. I understand it. Like, I know some people don't like the dunk contest because it's not real basketball, or some people don't like the 3-point contest because it's not real basketball.
Some people don't like. I tweeted last night. Some people don't like the NHL shootout because it's not real hockey.
I mean, I've watched shootout highlights. Like,
shootouts, like, they're still good. Like, that's what I was telling people last night after the Kings game. It was like, oh, I still hate the shootout, but this was still a good goal. Like, it's weird.
It's a little bizarre to me, but hey, I liked watching it. Frankie, I know you probably didn't like watching it, but that's okay. To each his own.
I just want to ask Frankie, anything not NFL football related sucks. Does that include college? I don't know if you're much of a college guy or not, but
no, I like college football.
I'm pretty sure the majority of people like college football. Like, I don't have a favorite team. I don't pay attention to college football, but I still will watch it every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie, anything not NFL football related sucks. There's a lot of college football fans out there. Like, I grew up in Georgia, hate Georgia football, hate Auburn football, but there are a lot of college football fans, and I put up that recent picture of Johnny Damon. I have something preloaded.
There's people in the chat saying you look like him.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to Johnny Damon a little bit later. We got some more important things to talk about than Johnny Damon at the moment. They're commenting on the app about it. Oh, I forgot to. Okay. Yeah.
Oh boy. Moving on.
Yeah, moving quickly on. While I have an internal heart attack, don't worry about it. He blew it through. Okay. We're gonna get right into this.
Yes,
gorgeous.
The great outdoors. This is beautiful. So, the NHL, as we all know, this past year they couldn't host a winter classic, and we all know they like to do their little outdoor games in front of basically record crowds. Like, if you, I'm pretty sure you might remember the 2014 Winter Classic.
Mm-hmm.
That was a sellout crowd. It was a by far away record, over 100,000 people turning out to see the hockey game. And this year they're doing it pandemic style. They're playing on a regulation NHL rink, but it's in the middle of the Lake Tahoe golf course with this postcard background Like
Yeah,
this looks incredible.
oh man, like this angle's a little goofy because like you have the road back here and like this
Yeah.
plane here, but like this, well, I guess you have the ladder, but like if you're like this is cool, man. Like if this was on a postcard, like I would send it to my grandmother.
It looks great. It's gonna be weird, but I think it looks great.
Yeah, that's cool, and I love when I play like NHL, like the video game. Like I love I love going to like Fenway and playing in the Winter Classic game, or going to
Yeah.
Wrigley and playing in the Winter Classic game. Like
I miss doing that.
like
I
that's one
really
of my
miss doing
favorite
that.
things to do in a video game. So I mean, of course, I'll love it on when it's on in real life. Like that's just cool to me.
Like it feels like the newer games now, where it's like when you play World of Shell, like that mode is what it's called, and like you just play on like a pond in the middle of the park, and it's like just there's a bunch of trees, snow, mountains, and stuff like that. That's literally what this is. So
It's pristine.
yeah. So the games that are going to be taking place tomorrow, we've got Vegas against Colorado. I'm pretty sure Vegas takes that one.
Yeah, Vegas has been rolling.
Yeah. But Colorado's a solid team.
Yeah, no, Colorado's no joke. You got Nate McKinnon, MVP candidate every year. Really solid team for both Colorado and Vegas. And
I would say they're both cup contenders.
I'm not going to bet on it for what it's worth.
You're not going to bet on it? All right.
No.
And then we have Philly-Boston for the second game.
And Boston's been rolling of late, too.
Yeah. I will admit, because of the way the NHL is split up this year, I have not really been paying much attention to that division, so.
I mean, I'm a fairly casual hockey fan. I've been super honest with that from the beginning because my Red Wings kind of suck. But hey, I do like watching playoff hockey. I like watching. If it's on, I'm not going to like turn it off, like regular season NHL. But I don't watch much TV, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most of my most of my sports is just me watching film or me covering stuff on Friday or Sundays during game day. So. Got to watch that film though. Got that like Asante Samuel film. That stuff is gorgeous. If you PSA, if you need a man cover corner, go get you some Asante Samuel. He is a baller. He might be nice with the Rams.
He could.
First round pick.
I'm gonna go with Boston for that one, but that's just me.
I go Vegas and Boston this weekend.
Yeah. And they're going to be wearing the reverse retros too, so that'll be interesting.
I might have to tune in just for that.
To see those red Vegas jerseys against the Quebec Nordiques.
Yes, I would buy both of those. Eventually, when we get millions and billions of viewers and we make thousands of dollars a second on this show, I'm going to buy some hockey jerseys.
For sure. I need to increase the collection.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of increasing the collection, we got a good old Johnny Damon story here. Let's pull it up. This was
just broken on the Stadium app.
Breaking news, explosive. Johnny Damon arrest report. So pulled over at 1:30 in the morning. That's smart. He blew a .300. That is a baseball batting average.
Apologies for the background noise.
Frankie said.
I got a lot of background noise going. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Like, come on, Johnny. Come on, you're better than that. 4 times the legal limit in Florida. Here we go. We got Frank saying he's an idiot. Sam saying it's not a good look for me. Yankees thug. Shocked emoji. That's a lot of alcohol. I agree, Nelson. What are you doing? What are you doing, Johnny? Just, I remember when you were on the Yankees, on the Red Sox, even in Tampa. Come on, what are you doing? Like we talked about alcohol on the show yesterday. Brianna gave her her joking advice on what alcohol to drink.
We didn't get to see the picture.
Oh, really?
No, he didn't scroll down. This is gonna be fun.
Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. No. Okay. Where is it? There we go. There we go.
Oh jeez.
Oh. This is Johnny. What are you doing, pal?
Does it look like Splash? Comment below.
Oh, does it look okay? I'll
That's what they're saying.
Because Johnny Damon looked like Splash. Oh man! Hey, and we have a guest. We have a guest today.
Oh boy.
We got my boy Mike.
Hey.
So let's pop on. How's it going, Mike?
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, what's up?
What are your thoughts on the Johnny Damon picture?
So I don't know anything about baseball, period.
That's fine.
But I do think, there's some similarities. He's got to grow out a beard to get to your level, but there's some close to that. Yeah. But yeah, it sucks. You shouldn't be drinking and driving, but
yeah. I can't believe he blew a .300. That one's wild.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's wild. So anything you want to talk about, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, you guys are the host. I'm the guest. You got anything to throw at me? Again, I know absolutely nothing about baseball, so
yeah. Well, we're gonna move off baseball for a little bit.
All right.
So, what do you think Allen Robinson lands?
See, preferred, I like him, with the Jags, but I can see him going to Baltimore. You guys get a main number one guy. That'd be cool, just because I'm a big fan of Lamar. I wanted him on the Jags originally, but I think he can throw the ball. So getting somebody like A-Rob, that'd be good. Mm-hmm. Besides that, though, Jags, maybe the Colts could be like a wild card. Get
interesting
Carson Wentz, somebody. They got some good names like Michael Pittman and all that, but get that firm number one guy. But yeah, besides that, not really sure.
All right. Where do you think J.J. Watt lands?
See, it would be cool. You brought up earlier the Steelers. I know you wouldn't like that, Splash, but the Titans could be somebody who wants to stay in division, beat up on the Texans.
True.
That'd be a cool one. The Rams also, you brought that up. That wouldn't be too bad because I know you guys are losing. No, you're not losing Floyd.
We might lose Floyd. We're not losing Donald, if that's what you were thinking.
Oh, no. Donald's there for the long run. Yeah. I'd say probably the Titans, which I would not be very happy with. But,
yeah, of course. But they do need some interior.
Yeah, for sure.
They do need some edge help.
Yeah.
I love me some Jeffrey Simmons. But they do need some help.
Oh, yeah, he's a beast.
So, and what are your thoughts on the Wentz trade? Of course, he moves in the good old AFC South.
Yeah, over my shoulder. Henderson, he's going to be throwing him to a couple times. But, yeah, it's good for the Colts. I think I hate Phillip Rivers personally, but this definitely got to get him over the hump. Somebody earlier, I think it was in chat, said, yeah, it's going to make them. They're real competitors. I think they can make a run for the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
If you had to, okay, we're going to jump back to what we talked about last week. If you had to bet on someone to win the AFC South, who are you betting on at this point?
Oh, the Colts, definitely. The Titans are good.
Now my quick Colts pick looks a lot better. When I made the pick and I forgot the Titans were in the division, now it looks a lot better.
Yeah. No, I think the Colts just overall are a lot better. The Titans are great too. I mean, Derrick Henry, I'm used to seeing him beat up on my team. It's like a just universal thing every single time we play. But I don't see really the
Jags. Guys are rebuilding.
Yeah. But before that, he always just beats up on us anyway. But yeah, I think it's going to be the Colts who take it away.
Okay. Do you happen to watch the Fan Control Football League?
I didn't, but I think Frankie was hating on it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's pretty cool, and the fans call it all, and Manziel back in like his fifth league he's been in or whatever it is. But
what is it? So NFL, CFL, AAF.
Yeah. Wasn't he in the XFL too at one point?
I don't believe he was.
Oh yeah, I could be wrong on that. Then 4 or 5, whatever it is.
Yeah. 4 or 5, I don't remember. I've lost count. This guy's going crazy.
I think the stat was since Manziel got drafted, Brady had won 3 Super Bowls, and Manziel had played in 4 different football leagues. Like, who's really winning there? Who's really winning?
Yeah.
Manziel got to play in Canada. Has Brady ever played in Canada? I don't think so.
He's going all over the place, taking his talent everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Brady took his talents to not really South Beach, but Tampa.
Close to it.
Hey, I mean, playing in Canada is really nice.
I thought it was cool how the NFL tried to play a preseason game in Canada. I wish they didn't have to like shorten the field, because like Canada fields are really weird. How they have the end zone, or they have the goalposts like on the goal line.
Yeah. Like the NFL used to, yeah.
Yeah. So like not only can you like accidentally run into them, but then you can also it just makes kicking weird.
Although, I mean, Chuck Clark did actually heat-seeking missile his way into the goalpost once against Cleveland. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah,
I might remember it.
Just the man just went kapow. I gotta pull up a clip for that. That one's let me
That's worth a watch. That's worth a watch. For
absolutely. Sure. Like, I have terrible producing skills. I understand at Frankie, but this is one video I absolutely have to grab just for the comedic value of it, you know. So we got
it's like the very first or not the very first. It was like that Monday show that we did before the sports desk where you were like talking about that Ravens guy that just bowled over everybody.
Yeah, he just ate it. Just totally ate it. And shout out to Baker on that play. You know, he launched it. He launched it like 70 yards in the air. And that was incredibly impressive throw. And if my Verbo ad wouldn't, I get way too many ads on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have had this experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ads for like Raid Shadow Legends and stuff.
Yep. All right. We have this is peak football. Like, I know a lot of people think Mahomes is peak football, or they think that Tom Brady winning a bunch of Super Bowls is peak football.
Oh gosh.
But genuinely, this is peak football to me.
Let's see.
If I was legally, like, if I had to describe football to an alien race, this is how I would.
Underrated, honestly.
Oh, amen to that. Amen to that. He is a rocket launcher. Maybe not Mahomes, but he got a rocket launcher.
Yeah, he can throw it when he needs to.
Absolutely.
Although I feel like just that any QB almost can throw it like that when they need to. Like maybe not necessarily that far, but like if you need to go a deep throw on like a Hail Mary play like that was.
That's true, and that's something like I've watched a lot of stuff on Brady, and that's something he's not throwing off platform 60 yards, but if he sets his feet, you know, you saw it against Green Bay in the NFC title game. He can launch it. You know, he can put it on a dime without even trying, like he's Trace McSorley. But Penn State legend, shout out to Aiden, and shout out to Baltimore Ravens. So speaking of that shout out, let's head over to some hot takes. We got
This is my favorite time.
Shout out my dog JWD. You're gonna see one.
Okay, here we go.
I'm for it.
This is from user. I'm dumb. I could just pull it up real quick on my laptop, and so everyone can see. So it's not just me. I'm gonna get fired this week, aren't I?
Hey, Jags need a nose tackle. I'm telling you. I told you that like a month ago.
Hey, this is true. Sign me up, Jacksonville. Urban Meyer, call my name. You know.
Yes, sir.
Like I would put my phone number in the chat or on the stream, but I don't know who's watching.
If
you need to hit me up, I'm on. I gave you my Twitter and Instagram early on, so
he does that every episode.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it.
I didn't screw it up today.
For once.
Exactly. Like, I know I was showing my buddy like one of the shows to try to get him on soon. And I showed him our first episode, and it was just me like, welcome to the Splash Report.
Welcome to the Splash.
And then I have like this oops, because I used to have in Arizona, I had a show on campus that was the Splash Report that I did last spring. And of course,
yeah.
I'm stupid, you know, I'm not on the Splash.
Two shows starting with the SP.
Yeah. You know, it happens. It happens.
It happens. We forgive you.
I appreciate that.
Should I just read this hot take then?
I have it pulled up.
You have it? Okay.
There's screen, Chrome tab, U Stadium at Splash. Here we go. Can we see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. Post your hot takes. The best ones will be featured right now. View 5 more comments. Not even comments. There we go. Got dimes from Danny. Daniel Jones will be this year's Josh Allen. What do you guys think?
Mike says emphatic no.
I'm not for it. I don't get the hype. I really don't. I mean, he can break off a run or two there, but I don't really see him being in the future, to be honest.
That's fair. I know was it yesterday I was on the show? Or maybe not yet. It was at some point I was talking positively about Daniel Jones because I think he's a pretty average quarterback and sometimes plays to be average.
Yeah.
You know, if you just look at the stats, he didn't have a very good year. But if you just look at the stats, Cam Newton had 8 touchdowns. So you're discounting 13 total scrimmage touchdowns that he had, you know. And sometimes offenses don't end with passing touchdowns. Sometimes they end with rushing touchdowns.
This is why I always say stats don't tell the full story.
Exactly.
Like they tell a lot, but they don't tell the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta watch the game.
Yeah. You got to watch what he does. And I think that he's a more average guy, I would say.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I looked at some PFF stuff, and he's in almost every graph. He was right smack in the middle. So he's, say it was like passer rating, clean versus pressured. He's right smack in the middle. So he's like league average, under pressure, league average against like a clean pocket. And like big time throws, league average. Turnover worthy plays, league average. Like he's almost average in every way you slice it. So that's kind of bizarre to think about.
Average isn't bad. You just need to be better than average is all.
Yeah, it's like I've talked about with baseball that being an average player is very valuable. You know, if you have an average pitcher, that's good. If you have an average infielder, that's good. You're not going to win with all average, but hey, it's better than having a bad player, right?
Yeah.
So we got a double one here. We got JWD, Justin. We got Mike, of course, is on the show. Trey Lance, QB2. And then Mike follows him up, QB1 when all is said and done.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts, Zach?
I want to hear the reasoning behind it first.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, personally, you know, at first I was thinking, start all the Jets fans on the app. I certainly thought they were going to have the first overall pick. So I'd be looking somewhere else, quarterback for the Jags. And Trey Lance, always my dude. Even I think like right off the bat, of course, you know, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, all of them are going to go before. I just think he has great potential. And if he goes somebody like the Falcons where they have Matt Ryan already, he can sit, learn. I think he has really good potential to be really great in the league because he has what this league wants now. He can run, throw, just everything you want.
Yeah. So I think it would depend on the team then, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, his 2019 film really pops to me.
Yeah.
You know,
And if he shows that he has a high upside and like he can compete in the league, I think there's a real chance.
You know, he's a guy that, say, Detroit takes him at 7 or Atlanta trades down and takes him, or even, I don't know if he fits in Carolina, but maybe Carolina would take him at 8. Like, those are 3 really good situations, and I want to be drafted in, you know, imagine you're throwing to Julio Jones in practice every day, you know, or you're sitting behind Matt Ryan, or you're throwing to Kenny Galladay every day in practice, or you're handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey every day in practice. Like, something is bound to like rub off on you and make you a better quarterback just by playing around talented guys like that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we have a friend of the show. Actually, let me get to Linval for MVP. The Vikings need to trade Dalvin Cook.
Nah.
Nah.
I'm just gonna hit one. Nah.
Dalvin Cook was one of the most consistently good running backs I've seen in a while.
Yeah, he's great.
I agree, but at a certain point, running backs are meh kind of today. Although I do think he's one of the difference makers at running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just trying to think back to like when I was tweeting games, like what were the how many times did I say his name? I said his name a lot. Like the dude is like, he just shows up so much. It's ridiculous. Like
he's absolutely like a superstar kind of running back, and he's top 5. He's up there with McCaffrey, Kamara, Henry, Chubb. You know, he's in that echelon of running backs. It's just, at what point do you value a running back over the rest of your franchise?
That's a good question.
Sure.
So, and I don't even know who would be interested in Dalvin Cook because a lot of teams are thinking we don't really need a running back. We don't need to draft Josh Jacobs round one.
Here's a question: who do the Vikings have if they get rid of him?
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, and he's not bad at all.
Boise State legend. Can't read a hole against Seattle, but Boise State legend. We have a friend of the show, Anonymous Jets. Shout out to Ari. We are about to see a blockbuster trade with Watson.
I mean, how else do you get him?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he gets traded. I know Houston doesn't want to trade him, but what do you do? You're going to get a haul for him.
For real.
I feel like I don't feel like that one's much of a hot take because there's really no other way.
Yeah.
True. All right, we got our buddy Tiksa here. Stafford will lead the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Yes. Let's go.
I mean, definitely set up.
Yeah.
Do the Jacks have any more of the Rams picks, or is this year the last?
This is the last one.
The Ramsey ones were everything we gave you guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I mean, hey, you guys tanked right. Like you played Mike Glennon a bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
And now look where you are because of us.
Jake Luton.
Oh man,
all made it happen.
Jake, I did quarterback rankings every week. Jake Luton was a catastrophe.
Oh my gosh, it was hard to watch a lot.
He was like competent one week, and then it was just like off the rails.
Yeah, it was the Texans game that was like, there's maybe something there. Then we got to the Packers. It was a close game, but he played horrible. Yeah. And then I forget who was after that when it just imploded. Yeah, the Steelers. We just imploded.
So bad.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Stafford though. Well, I feel like it's kind of the general consensus that the Rams will be contenders this year. Super Bowl, plausible. I think there's a real shot with the defense you have now that they're not really being held back by Jared Goff anymore.
Good point. I think it'd be a little disappointing if the Rams don't make it to the Super Bowl, to be honest.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, definitely.
All right. This is from I Eat Sand.
He's been here too.
Yeah.
Shut up, my dog.
Panthers should have no hesitation to trade Christian McCaffrey if he were a part of the Deshaun Watson trade. I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Full stop. I would trade a running back even if he was as valuable as Christian McCaffrey.
That's fair. Yeah, we were just talking about running backs. Like, how valuable really are they? I mean, regardless of how valuable they are, like QB versus RB, I'm taking a QB every time.
Yeah, and if you're talking, if McCaffrey's worth a first-round pick in the eyes of Houston, remember they traded for David Johnson.
Yeah, might be more than that, to be honest. You never know.
If they think McCaffrey's worth a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks, I'm blanking on their GM's name, but if I'm like Matt Rule and the GM calls and says, "Hey, we just traded Christian McCaffrey, who the Texans valued with 2 first-round picks. We traded McCaffrey and our number 8 pick for Watson." I would be running laps around the field just out of pure adrenaline, pure happiness.
Definitely. Yeah. It's like everybody else who doesn't have a player like that is got to send at least 3 first-round picks, and how far deep year-wise that's going. So it might be the move.
There were Texans fans saying they needed 8 assets. That's 4 firsts. This is from the Jets. 4 firsts, 2 seconds, Quinnen Williams, and Marcus May. And what?
That's the Brinks truck.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, Christian McCaffrey helps build into that Brinks truck. So we're gonna go a little bit quicker now. This is from B. Keener 19. Najee Harris turns into a top 5 back his first year. This is a home run for hot take for me. Absolutely.
I'd say top 10, but he could be up there. Definitely.
Yeah, I see it.
I think it depends on the spot. And if the last few years have shown me anything, you get these super talented running backs in a good situation. Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor. That's where you get these guys exploding.
Definitely.
I just want to say really quick, it's a good hot take when there's people in the comments calling him out and saying and like calling him an idiot. Like it's supposed to be a hot take. Like
yeah, I mean, I know the U Stadium main Twitter account a couple days ago, they posted who will make their first All-Pro team this year. I said Najee Harris. And if he ends up in Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh drafts maybe Creed Humphrey in the second round and improves their offensive line in free agency or in the draft, Najee Harris is a slam dunk running back pick.
Yeah.
All right, we got Patrick Bailey. Carson Wentz and the Colts will go 13-4 and become the 2 seed.
Could see that happening.
By the way, first of all, 13-4, assuming there is the 17th game.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know.
You're looking at 2 seed, and you're going up against teams like the Chiefs, who else am I thinking of? The Bills, who are probably going to be the top 2 again. I really don't see anything happening. Baltimore, Cleveland's going to be up there.
Miami, maybe.
Yeah, there's a Miami. I feel like would
Connor.
Be shout out to Connor.
I feel like Miami would be a little bit lower if they made it.
That's fair. Okay, this is.
Did I just lose connection?
I think he froze. Yeah.
Agree.
This has happened before. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I know it's a hot take, but no. Trevor Lawrence is just built different. I hate this to say built different, but Jacksonville has talented pieces. I don't even think it's going to be a bad stats thing. They just might go 4-12.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be Lawrence's fault. It's going to be you don't have any defensive talent. Well,
yeah, that's the main thing.
Defensive talent. Like he's going to throw the ball to Vishka and he's going to throw the ball to DJ Chark and get James Robinson involved, and I think that's going to be a good offense. He's an improvement over every quarterback they've tried ever, maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure. Please.
Is it a hot take to say Trevor Lawrence is the best Jacksonville quarterback and he hasn't ever and he's never
hasn't even played a game yet?
It's close. The fact that statistically Blake Bortles was probably our best quarterback, just based off the stats. I mean,
yikes!
It's only up from there. Mark Brunell, yeah.
Or David Garrard. He had a really good year in 2007.
Yeah,
I think
he was kind of up and down there though.
He was nice. I like Garrard. So I would say Garrard and Lawrence. I mean, it's I would say outside of Houston, but even Houston has Deshaun Watson. It's a pretty low bar to clear. The Jets probably have the lowest bar to clear. Like at least Garrard was really good. I mean, Joe Namath during his time was really good. But in terms of like modern quarterbacks, Garrard is a pretty low bar, relatively speaking. Yeah. But he was a nice quarterback, and I think Lawrence is going to pop off immediately.
Yeah. Hoping for the best.
Okay, we got Brandon Kiernan. The Colts are Super Bowl contenders with Wentz. People forget he was an MVP favorite just 3 years ago.
Completely agree.
This is a what have you done for me lately league.
Yeah, that's true.
What has Wentz done lately other than turn the ball over a lot?
Got injured in the playoffs. Shout out to Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, that's about it.
I mean, like we said earlier when we were talking about this trade, the upside definitely exists. It's just like, can they get what they're looking for out of him? And if they can, I feel like there's a chance. So again, it's kind of like a wait and see type of deal. So we'll find out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, friend of the show, AV22. The Jets should stay far away from Curtis Samuel.
I mean, I think it'd be a good fit because there's a lot of stuff you can do with them, and with their new coordinator Mike LaFleur, I think they can do a lot with him. But I mean, yeah, it's not really like that pressing a need. They probably need some big threat just downfield that they can use. I mean, it wouldn't be bad if they got him, but I guess you could stay away. Wouldn't be horrible if they signed him though.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of gets lumped into like the gadget player.
Yeah.
I think he does more than just be a gadget. And even if he's just a gadget player, that can be valuable for an offense that, frankly, is as inept as the Jets were in 2019 and 2020.
Definitely.
So any sort of juice is helpful for them.
I like that saying, any sort of juice.
All right, got EA Baskerville, another rookie quarterback not drafted in the top 5 will outshine those ahead of him.
This is what we're looking for in those hot takes.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about Trevor Lawrence.
Trey Lance season? Like
maybe.
I think Fields goes top 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance,
top 5.
My opinion, that all 4 can go in the top 5. But if you're not saying, then yeah, I think Trey Lance could be. But besides that, like Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, I don't know really.
Jones
they're going
to
to
right
outshine
system. Like if Jones goes to New Orleans, I think New Orleans wins the division.
I would love to see that, honestly.
Oh, I'm actually going to put my hot take. If the Saints draft Mac Jones, they will win the NFC South. All right, well, we got one more hot take. So this is from Hotep. Jalen Phillips would be edge one if not for alarming concussions and a brief retirement. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Random notification. Nice.
Sure. I was actually talking to him earlier about this because he was saying Big Greg, shout out Big Greg, is edge one. I personally don't agree, but he might not even be the best on his team. It might be him out of Miami, but
too.
Yeah. Personally, though, I think Azeez Ojulari, number one. That's my guy.
Yeah, I like Ojulari. Ojulari. He seems like Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Exactly like Ngakoue.
Yeah, and you can line him up in a 4-3 edge or a outside linebacker in 3-4. So there's a lot. He could fit in a lot of places.
Yeah, I'd be enticed to get Ojulari at 27 or maybe trade up or some. I guess if I know someone on the app did like a mock Jets draft. So
I did see that. They pushed there or something.
Yeah, I should do it.
Was it the one that was earlier today?
Yeah, it was earlier today. So I'm thinking if the Ravens trade Orlando Brown, still don't want them to, but let's say they trade him to the Chargers, get the number 13 pick. I mean, Ojulari maybe a little too rich at 13, but I guess at 13 you probably choose Darrisaw or Slater. I really love me some Rashawn Slater. I love all three of the big tackles. And I think any of them could be superstars from day one. Really don't want Sewell in Cincinnati, but hey, whatever. I don't know, 13 and 27, you can either move up, which Baltimore doesn't really move up, but maybe even trade down. Like get to 13 and do a San Francisco thing last year and just trade down and keep your eyes on the guy. Like they had their eyes on Kinlaw the entire time. Baltimore gets pick 13. It's like, okay, we want Ojulari. 13's a little rich. Trade down to maybe Washington wants Mac Jones at 13. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you pick Ojulari at 19.
And that's fair. I think that's a fair spot. Early 20s, mid 20s, I'd say is a good spot. So 19 isn't crazy. If you really like the guy, just take him.
Yeah, or trade down with Chicago and you get the 20th pick, and then you're sitting pretty there. I don't know. Maybe New Orleans trades up and wants a quarterback.
When has any draft trade involving Chicago ever worked out? Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes, everybody.
I'm pretty sure one of the picks involved became Alvin Kamara too. Just imagine for a second if, it was Fred Warner. Fred Warner, not Kamara.
Oh God!
Still,
man. Imagine Fred Warner with Roquan, Khalil Mack. Imagine that front seven.
Elite.
Maybe Khalil Mack would be motivated to do a lot better than he did in the last couple of years, because I feel like 2018 he had a pretty good year, but
I mean, I could talk for an hour about why sacks are a little overrated, but I think Max been fantastic the last 2 years.
We've kind of established that sacks are overrated on here.
Yeah, it's like TJ Watt was robbed from Defensive Player of the Year. Do you watch football?
Do you not watch Aaron Donald?
Shout out Xavier Howard. I got to shout out my dog Hotep, Connor.
Shout out Xavier Howard. He was a killer this year.
You should have got it. Aaron Donald.
Here's my hot take. This is kind of an aged one though. If J.C. Jackson, if the Patriots were contenders this year, J.C. Jackson probably could have won Defensive Player of the Year.
Go Terps.
He had 14 picks.
Maybe not that many. I think he.
I think he was one under X.
Yeah, X had 10.
Yeah, I think he had 8, 9. Yeah.
And when Gilmore was out, J.C.
Was
Jackson
it? Let me see. The Darius Williams Ramsey thing in LA. Yeah.
When there was no Gilmore, J.C. Jackson was thoroughly beaten by Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's one of the games that Diggs is the top 3 quarterback, top 3 receiver in the NFL right now.
He had 9 picks this year.
Oh, J.C. Jackson got curb stomped, got obliterated, got violated. Any verb you want to use, it applies.
Unfortunately, I didn't watch the Patriots that much this year, but I knew they were bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a catastrophe.
I was just looking at the pick number and it looked good, but you got to do more as a cornerback. This is like I was talking about with Jalen Ramsey too. Like Jalen Ramsey is he had one pick all year long, and people are calling him the best cornerback in the league.
For good
maybe
reason.
next to Jairo Alexander.
Jair.
And that's something like I love Marcus Peters as the number 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My boy, all pro Marlowe, CB3 probably. So
For sure.
yeah, with that, let's wrap it up here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man.
No problem.
We'd
Be back
love to have you on again if you want.
Yeah,
So,
I'll see. I always tune in.
Yeah, thank you.
No
So
problem.
yeah, thank you, Mike. Thank you to our wonderful listeners today. Lots of good comments, lots of good questions, lots of good stuff on the app today.
Download the update if you haven't.
Yeah, download the update.
Oh,
It's pretty fire. Even have like a play tab now. I mean, we've always had the play tab, but we have a new
This
play
new
tab.
UI,
The
like
poll
what?
master running the show.
We got Paul Master. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next Friday, 6:30 Eastern, 6:30 sharp.
Peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents.
Peace out.